Hello, everyone, and welcome to this second game between Mike P9333 and Gundam. This is this winners finals?
I believe we're in losers finals.
Losers finals. Okay, losers finals in the lower bracket, and this is the second game out of three. Mike won a very close game yesterday. So this could decide it, or they could be 1-1, and we'll have to have a third game to see who wins the match.
Yep, so this first time in a little bit that we've seen elimination on the line in this Hollow Knight Randomizer Lockout tournament, and the runners have been counted down. So let's get into it. Right away, looking at this board, we see the return of Coliseum 1 that was on our board yesterday, but more generally, Kingdom's Edge looks very, very strong on this board with KE Root, Pale Lurker, and Colo 1. So a quick trip to right side is very worth it.
Yeah, there's also just a lot of single random check goals here, with Check's Shade Soul requiring Elegant Key, No Eyes requiring Lantern, Void Tendrils Journal Entry requiring King's Brand, Map Pins requiring Tram Pass, and City Crest requiring, of course, City Crest.
Yeah, so it, much like last board, ended up turning into a bit of a hunt for some one-off charms. This board seems much more finely set up to require that, although if our luck is anything like last board, they will find all of those random charms early, and then this one will paradoxically turn out to be a boss rush at the end.
Yeah. Hopefully no one has to get dash from Colo 1 again. Well, it looks like the progression is pretty kind, all told.
So yeah, all right. I like this as far as outline of the set, because last seed we saw was very, very linear, and both runners last location pretty much their major movement item. Now we've got an open seed right from the beginning with vertical as the literal first check.
Yeah, and on medium logic, this also gives access to right side immediately with the Blue Lake Shade skip. So they have a lot of options, especially with that storeroom stag.
Yeah, hey, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Coliseum 1 is already in logic, so first goal maybe?
So is it just me, or did both of them skip over Dream Shield, which is a goal?
Reading the board is very difficult.
Yep. Looks like Gundam... Huh. Looks like Gundam bought something else in addition to storeroom stag. I didn't quite catch what it was.
Might have been Dream Shield. We had a little bit of board delay. Yep, there
it
is.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm assuming just a small bit of board delay on our end, and Mike's smart enough to not buy the goal after he sees it get marked, because they are, of course, referring to the bingo sync and not the restream. So Gundam going to go up with a quick 1-0 with a shot goal.
Yep.
Very cool. So that's a good way to set up our board delay here a little bit. Hopefully we will not have very, very close races, not at a Zelda over a goal, but you never know. It looks like both runners immediately running down to check the journal above Mantis Village, possibly? Or to eye Leg Eater?
Yeah, this could be a Leg Eater check, plus, like, this gets you towards 3 corner fair locations pretty quickly. There's one here in Fungal. You could get the one in City through storerooms, or you could continue on to Green Path. But yeah, it also gets you towards the Mantis Village journal, which might be kind of annoying with a shade skip, but is doable.
And it looks like Mike is going to cede any movement advantage he had here on these corner for locations by checking Leg Eater. Got some Geo, got actually a fair bit of Geo, but not...
It also looks very cheap to buy out Leg Eater, so Mike could be snagging this goal right here, especially with the storeroom stag. He can sell that King's Idol.
And he's thinking about it. Yeah, that right there looked like a consideration that... like, he knows that he's not going to be able to contest this corner for locations goal. Honestly, looks like he can almost afford it right away. I think maybe the Shroomal Ogres will put him over the top.
Yeah, that'll be amusing. This will be certainly the quickest anyone has ever bought out Leg Eater in a race.
Yeah. And so yeah, Gundam just moving right on down to the corner for location. Probably will either route around to Green Path or immediately quit to grab a stag to storerooms. Both of those pretty fast corner for locations, so angling to be an early 2-1 lead here. Not by any means race deciding, but always nice to have.
Looks like Mike is going to continue at least to Queen Station before warping out to go finish up buying out Leg Eater. Don't actually know whether he has quite enough. I didn't actually catch how expensive that rancid egg was.
Yeah, rancid eggs, the paradigm in Rando is junk items tend to be much more expensive. The most a progression item in a shop can be capped at in terms of geo cost is 500. Oh, and Mike with quite a whiplash there.
Getting dash, but taking a death.
So that's big if Gundam doesn't remember to go back for that, especially if Gundam is focused on these corner for locations. Although Mike, it's a little dicey because he's got to go pick up his shade in order to have any geo, but could maybe contest this corner for locations goal now if Gundam.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised Gundam is going over to the Green Path location. I would think that going to City for that corner through storerooms would be faster, though maybe he just hasn't thought of it. Also, Mike's, for some reason, going back to Sporgs to take another 2 damage.
Just wanted to, properly reset to where he was, 1 hit away from death. Mike also bypassing the fungal corner for location, so it looks like he's not looking to contest that goal at all. Instead, just probably going to stag to storerooms and sell some stuff, I imagine?
Yeah.
Storeroom stag is also very nice to have now for City Crest and 2 elevators later, because it puts you right next to 2/3 of that.
Looks like he's going back for the location, maybe? Or skipping past this mask shard for who knows what reason.
Yeah, it looks like he's a little bit split between a couple different goal ideas here. We saw him hesitate in terms of walking away from Leg Eater before, and there's a lot of early goals with this movement that we've already got that could theoretically grab his attention.
Okay, it looks like Gundam will be getting this goal here.
And so Mike going to warp out.
I'm surprised that Mike... Oh, is this Mike getting the... Oh, this is Mike just getting some Geo from some Geo Rocks. Nice.
Impeccable routing here. Making sure you have just enough Geo to afford the buyout of Leg Eater. Also showing off a Geo Rock that I didn't know existed.
That Geo Rock is great. Looks like the egg costs 380. Nice.
380, exactly. You love that. So Gundam going to maybe get a little confused about where Mike has even been for how fast buyout Leg Eater was even marked.
Meanwhile, Gundam finding that Dash Master would be great, except that he hasn't picked up Dash from Sports.
Yeah, so we're getting a true inverse of last seed, where Gundam had Dash very early on, and Mike was absent it for a while until doing Coliseum. And yeah, the seed sort of handing us all of the conventionally nice things to have. You got Vertical, a Dash, Shaman Stone, and Dash Master right away, split between these runners here.
Yeah. Looks like Mike
And
is warping
yeah,
out.
Mike. With
Oh,
the heads
yeah.
up play, that's use a nail art.
Yeah, probably got reminded of that from using that nail art just now.
So yeah, also going to be an opportunity to check through cliffs. Like we talked about yesterday, the cliff skip is not in medium logic. Not necessarily because of its difficulty, but because of how annoying it is to have to reset it. So anything Mike finds here is going to be out of logic, but it's a fair few checks and a goal. So really smart for immediately rushing that. Also can further mystify Gundam as to what exactly is going on. Losing a Vengefly here.
Yeah, I generally try to do the skip with just one Vengefly because I find it pretty annoying to try to herd two of them. And I don't find it helps that much.
Yeah, their AI tends to like stall like exactly that scenario.
Yeah. So in terms of other goals they could do, there's like not too much they could do.
Unbreakable strength and even more Geo at Salubra. So yeah, the seed is just sort of handing you things at this point. Oh, Mike killing both of them Vengeflies that he needs. That's unfortunate. Yeah, in setting up that skip, you're supposed to do a max height wings jump to that first set of spikes. You can make it without any pogo assistance. So the one Vengefly setup just pogos up the first gap, stalls on those spikes to herd the Vengefly up, and then uses your second pogo to cross the last gap. The second Vengefly is a little bit of insurance on that, but if you spend too much time pogoing it around, will run out its health.
I'm surprised that neither of the racers here have gone for the Mantis Village journal yet. It's not too bad of a shade skip. And like I think it's shorter than doing this cliff skull is for Mike.
Obviously, they are saving it until they get Dream Nail so that they don't have to do the shade skip and instead can do the incredibly convoluted balloon pogo.
Oh, this Vengefly does not want to follow Mike.
Right, now Gundam also seeing the Cyclone Slash. Will he make the same play, or will he continue down?
Not convinced
All right,
that
Mike,
Vengefly followed Mike. I think he needs to like.
Oh no, he can't pogo it a second
is.
time. Okay, the damage boost is unironically nice. And
Yep,
he's up.
And he's up, yep. So he should be safe now to get this second goal. Meanwhile, Gundam continuing over into city, probably gonna check rafters and Lemeg.
And also, he bought at least one Arcane Egg, I believe, from Salubra, so going to be flush with cash for anything else that comes up later.
Yeah. And there's
and
VS.
Rewarded with a VS for his troubles. So probably going to finish out these cliffs checks. You can check everything. I doubt we'll see Tony's Blessing checked in the dark, just because it's out of logic in several ways. I mean, maybe Mike goes for it. It's also a fair amount of time investment to do Joni's in the dark without C-Dash.
Yeah. I think with C-Dash... with C-Dash and Dive, it wouldn't be that bad, but without Dive, you also can't take the shortcut back. Well, speaking of C-Dash, though.
All right, moment of truth. Will Gundam opt to kill Mila, even though it is not a goal on the board, to win over the heart of this commentator?
I think without reason to go over near peaks, I highly doubt Gundam will. But looks like this is the peaks elevator from Gundam. Nice, quick thinking to get that goal immediately after getting C-Dash and Wings.
And first try. No trouble at all. So gonna be a quick 3-2 here in just a second.
Not sure why the tracker isn't showing Mike's score. It says it's set to 2, on my end at least.
And I'm also taking up this Geo. Something also worth noting is coming back to Salubra. So probably grabbing Fragile Strength.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Oh, and he's at 4 charms already, so that's a dirt mouth away from the 5 charms goal. And yep, he's looking at his inventory to make sure.
Yep. Also, I believe Zelda had like Gathering Storm or something. Oh, and Compass. Pretty nice for equip 5 charms as well.
Yeah, 1-notch charms are absurdly useful in this board, and as are having that combined with the have 5 or more charms, because it guarantees you're getting at least one of those free notches. Next on the to-do list here for this board, I guess, like, at this point, you really want Dream Nail, but at this point, you're just sort of generically check hunting until you decide it's time to go to Kingdom's Edge. We could maybe see Talk to Bardoon as the next goal, as Gundham finally grabs that dash.
Yep. Good on Gundham for remembering that he left that behind. So now Gundham is like pretty far ahead in terms of movement ability and goals with C-Dash and Dash Master, and to some extent strength.
And so it looks like we are going to get a bit of a race here. I'm assuming this is towards Talk to Bardoon. Mike has a little bit of a head start, but Gundham, I would still say, is pretty massively favored because C-Dash makes this trek much more doable.
Yeah.
More doable quickly, at least.
Though if you want to stop by Progression Egg, it's like not that much faster. Unless you C-Dash back and then C-Dash across, which I don't see very many people doing.
It looks like we're just getting the dashes. That's also our first simple key. We do need 2 of those.
Yeah. Also, Gundam not equipping Dash Master yet. You hate to see it.
And yep, Mike is not going up to Resting Grounds. Gundam going to bait us into thinking he's going to Resting Grounds, but going to ultimately follow. So this will be a Bardoon race.
Yep, presumably that is where they're going. We could see Mike baited into the King Station arena with VS, but it looks like no, he's not going to be doing that. I imagine he'll at least check this journal. Just a Lifeblood charm.
So it looks like Gundam is making the same checks. It is awkward to have to leave that behind for sure. And I similarly suspect both players are going to get the bench as well as move to grab the check on top of the station here. Shape of Un, not something we need today. Slash, on the other hand, is a goal.
Wow. So Gundam will know that he's just barely behind Mike here, unless, of course, Mike got the other half of that goal. Interestingly, Gundam here will be pretty... Actually, Gundam is extremely favored on this race to Bardoon because Gundam can do the acid skip, while Mike doesn't have that luxury.
Yep, so this will probably be Gundam's favor unless he whiffs the acid skip several times in a row.
Yeah.
We'll see, and Gundam is going to enter into the room here.
Yeah, this could still go to Mike if Gundam has enough trouble with this acid skip that he doesn't end up being able to do it without running out of health.
Oh,
That
was
was
close.
close.
Just a slightly too low on the wings there.
Yeah,
Right,
it looks like this
he's
will be
forfeiting a
Mike's.
goal.
Yeah, this could just be a reset of health, but Mike will probably be able to get this now. Though he is stopping by Camp Bench.
Oh, this could be very close.
I think this is still Mike's, even if Gundam gets it first try. I could be wrong.
Gundam gets a first try. They're both in pretty much the same place at the same time.
Oh, well,
boy.
Gundam did get it first try.
We
Okay,
got a
Gundam's
race.
a
I
bit
think
ahead.
this is Gundam's.
There's also stream delay to be considered. Who knows which way that will lean.
No, I think this is Gundam's. I think there is enough of a head start, although the Primal Aspens are kind of bullying him. Pooh boy. Alright, he's up there. That's Bardian. We'll wait on
Wow,
the board mark to confirm.
Insanely close race to Barjun.
So now we do Kala 1, right? Nail 0 vs Cyclone Slash.
Looks like Mike is warping out. That might mean that Gundam ended up getting this goal. Because Mike might just think that Gundam's ahead of him. And so won't bother checking this Acrid Egg or the King's Idol.
Yeah, Pale Lurker is hard claw locked. So sticking around in the area right now, other than doing some checks, and yep, it did go to Gundam. Sticking around in this area either means committing to Kala 1 or just grabbing benches and then retreating for now. And I do highly doubt we're going to see Kala 1 this early on.
Yeah, looks like Mike might be looking to take that simple key over into waterways. Meanwhile, Gundam finding a Shade Cloak, which isn't too relevant on this board. I guess Void Tendrils journal entry.
Yeah, you're gonna need it down the line, but King's Brand tends to be much more persnickety in terms of hiding somewhere and gating that goal.
Didn't quite catch what was in Kala 1, but I assume it was nothing.
Mike, meanwhile, just heading around city. So we got one of our first major divergences, at least in recent memory. Gundam, I guess, going to take his C-dash out to some things that Mike can't quite access, although he did just pick up a C-dash of his own. There's our first
Kara.
Dreamer.
Not that useful since they already have right side access with wings. I guess they can check well.
And not generally a whole lot that Dreamers do for you on this board. They are not the random items we're looking for this time.
But
There's
that
one of them,
is one of the random items. We will need Dream Knell, though, before that can be of use. Though I guess that does get you into peaks. And, puts Dark Rooms in logic.
And so Mike's gonna finish clearing out waterways while Gundam goes up into Green Path.
We haven't seen anyone check grubs, right?
I don't believe
no
we
one's
have.
doing that yet.
We've seen a couple grubs rescued incidentally on the way, so I think both runners have that in the back of their minds, but not yet.
Wonder if Mike is going to be going towards the Mantis Village Journal here. This is one route you can take to get to it.
Yeah, it's not a bad way. It's frustrating that you leave behind, like, Bretta on your way, but also it looks like he's just heading back through waterways, not interested in going out to Fungal.
Yeah, you do get, you can get the Bretta bench, so it's not that bad. There's
a second
another
random
random
goal.
goal. Yeah.
Right,
Gundam
Green
getting
Path
pretty
time.
lucky here with these random goals. And there's Stag Nest Stag.
Stag for his trouble. That puts the that puts the vengeful spirit that he's currently missing in logic. But
Yeah.
nothing immediately like world-ending.
We haven't seen the rest of Cliffs though, right? We've only seen Stag Nest and Mato.
It's true. As Mike finds one of the few random singleton items that we're not looking for on this board.
Mike, very low on HP. Looks like he is gonna make it though, just barely.
With some charming fluke noises. And okay, nothing in Beastan. Good on Gundam for going through the trouble of checking that. When the game hands you Distant Village Stag, I am very superstitious about that check personally.
I'm disappointed Gundam didn't go on to do the Shade Skip though. Set up for 2 Dreamers checks later by getting the Beastan bench. Even though with Claw it would be about the same amount of time from
essentially
Stag.
free, yeah. And in true high-level randomizer fashion, it is 26 minutes into the race, and here's False Night.
Honestly, this is one of the lower equipped False Night fights to occur 26 minutes into the race with only VS Shaman.
It's true, no one even found a Wraiths yet. Gundam is going to finish out Cliffs here. Might even consider doing Joni's, since it is no longer in the dark. And
also he has
to
seated dash.
Heading right there as Mike finishes up the False Night fight. Gundam getting... Oh, there's a Dream Nail. Alright, so...
That is pretty big.
That is a little bit better than Flower Quest from last race.
Yeah,
First Dream
so
Nail
that'll be Kingdom's Edge immediately for Mike. Assuming he bothers to do it, which it is pretty annoying with dash wings, but not as annoying as it could be.
That is also...
Charm Rush is also pretty relevant.
Yeah, Mike doesn't have enough for defeat Marmu, but we've seen Shade Cloak, so there is QG access around.
Yeah, that's a very long trip, though. And you have to pogo a Petra Blade.
More than likely, it is also check the journal above Mantis Village, but the fun way.
Well, there's Love Key, not another single random item that isn't relevant on this board. And there's another
Mike's Shade Cloak. Alright, so Dash not going to be the separator Vis race that it was in the last one, and Mike is warping right away to Kingdom's Edge route. So Gundam's still uniquely positioned for no eyes, because if Mike doesn't go back for Green Path anytime soon, he won't find the one lantern. Well, there are 3 other Dream Nails somewhere out there, but Mike going to snag this early Dream Nail goal, which is a good way to stay in the game.
I'm sure all 3 other Dream Nails are behind Shop Key, which is at White Palace. Or no, not White Palace. That's impossible. Flower Quest.
Yes. You hate it when White Palace hides 3 Dream Nails behind it, forcing you to glitch your way in. All
I mean,
right,
it is
let's see
possible for
how
all three
Mike's
Dream Nails to be behind Shopkey, if not White Palace.
So Mike remembering the 2 essence that it's impossible to remember in the Kingdom's Edge route. And now from here, it's just a matter of surviving and doing all right at traversing the inhospitable environment without Claw in particular, which makes the route a little bit less linear and simple.
Yeah,
And Mike is going to take the time.
Meanwhile, Gundam is doing Glowing Room, having a slight bit of trouble with his health, but will probably make it through. And then I assume he's going to continue on to False Knight from there, and will be getting a Dream Nail that way.
Yeah, Gundam once again opting to be in Fury for all of these arenas. Alright, Mike's... I think that's about we're past the halfway point on this essence.
Yep, there's 51 in total. Mike will be picking up absolutely nothing here, and continuing on his way.
Vanishing Charm. Mike is going to get the Dupe Shade Cloak, assuming he sticks around for going up to the Hopper Idol.
I assume he's going to go up to Kalu.
We're mostly past the point where the extra cash afforded you by a dupe would matter. But yeah, we'll grab that Kalu on bench for later, as Gundam picks up the Dream Nail eventually here. So going to probably head for No Eyes.
Mike on dangerously low HP, but wisely takes the time to heal instead of challenging this Hopper.
Yeah, it's whenever you're on low health that Hoppers suddenly decide to have an aimbot. It's really unkind, especially in this room in Kingdom's Edge where Hoppers can randomly dive bomb you from like 4 screens away.
Yep. So that will put us to 6-4, though this will soon be 7-4 with Gundam marking No Eyes, presumably here.
Yep, and so if you are Mike, I guess at this point you're still kind of in checks mode. I don't know that I would deign to do Kala 1 Shaman VS. Usually you're looking for at least Shade Soul before you try that.
I'm still wondering when someone will make the play of checking the Mantis Village Journal, because that has been available since the start of the game, and no one has gone for it yet.
It's because the shade skip to it is a myth, and they only just picked up Dream Nail.
I think the shade skip to it is easier than doing the Kingdom's Edge route. That is my hot take.
That is fair. The Kingdom's Edge route is no fun. It looks like Mike might be headed in that general direction. We are getting this Queen Station check that he had previously left behind. As No Eyes continues being No Eyes and not cooperating with Gundam. Excessively. Alright, that was the last hit. Little dicey there, but made it through.
I think Gundam took a full, 15 to 30 seconds to get that last hit. Meanwhile, was that 19 grubs for dive? And 20 grubs for a VS?
Expensive. Oh, there's Shopkeeper's Key. Historically, that's been something.
Spore Shroom relevant. It's a 1-notch charm.
Yeah, that honestly might be close to enough for Mike there. As Shopkey not going to be the end-all be-all it was in the last race, although that does put Gundam up to a 5th charm notch. So he's looking through his inventory thinking about that. I don't think he can quite do it.
Yeah, looks like he only has one notch charm. Also, finally remembering to equip Dash Master.
Shaman
looks like
Dash Master
both of them both of them are choosing to go to resting grounds now, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, you've got essence as an actual commodity now. It's sort of finally worth getting there. And we are going to see... Oh, don't despawn the shade. Okay. So it looks like, once again, Mike is going to be just slightly ahead on these checks. Especially since Gundam making the mistake of trying to check progression egg a second time.
You won't get a second, what was it, Palor?
Imagine. Just duplicate 6 Palor.
Looks like Mike's gonna take the time to do 0 here.
So,
ending up with 150 essence.
Yep.
So Gundam will be taking the lead here on these checks, and we'll have more essence than Mike will with 0.
Yeah, the sort of worst case scenario is if there's like Claw at 170 essence. That would be kind of backbreaking for Mike.
170 isn't bad. That's the Resting Grounds Dream Tree. Even like up to 200 wouldn't be that bad. Like 180-ish wouldn't be that bad. Then you just go over to Mantis Village and do the route while while getting the journal.
Oh, and that's Tram Pass. So Gundam, I think that's enough money. Yeah, to buy all 8
That's
map pins.
definitely
Just gonna
enough
bench
money.
and then rush to that. And
There's
the
a second simple key. Wow,
Oh, that
2
zero
rolls in Resting
decision.
Grounds.
So unfortunate for Mike. Just getting inched out here.
I wonder... I think Mike might have enough time to use a second simple key before Gundam can do it. Because, oh right, Gundam hasn't used any simple keys yet.
Mike also checking essence. So Gundam is definitely going to get all of these pins. There's the 3rd VS. This is also going to be close.
There's a Void Heart piece. So I assume Mike will be getting this 2 simple keys goal. Also going to be checking Dream Shield.
Dangerous. Unless this is Claw, that's dangerous. Second nail art, though.
I mean, Gundam still has a ways to go. He hasn't used any simple keys, so he has to go all the way to Waterways. This will almost certainly be a goal trade here, then.
Especially since Gundam is making the decision to check Pleasure House.
Yeah, it looks like Gundam is going to be getting these checks first.
Well, it's a tale as old as time. Will Mike get defeated by Pleasure House? Oh, Gundam only making 1 check. Or no, just resetting the elevator.
And that'll be
It's
use
not gonna
2
be too
simple keys from Mike. Bringing us up to 8 to 5, I believe.
And Sprint Master, also not on this board, also nice to have. Also for Mike, that might be 5 charms at the same time. I think he's been pretty close. There's
depends on whether he goes to buy the 2 1-notch charms at Zelda and remembers those.
Yes, but yeah, I don't remember if Gundam can afford them. I don't remember their cost, but Mike can almost certainly complete that goal now. So that is 2 goals on the board, just waiting for a runner to attempt them.
Yeah, looks like Mike is going over to Basin, possibly doing the Hidden Station Shade Skip.
Oh, Dream. Okay,
there's
that
a
goal is now
charm.
free. Yeah, that goal is now free for Mike as soon as he finds a bench.
Yeah,
Thinking
that's
about
one,
it? He's thinking
2,
about it?
that's 3 1-notch charms, and there's 2 at a Zelda. So yeah, Mike can definitely get that goal.
Do it without even over-charming.
Yep. I assume he's going over here to the tram bench and then warping out for that.
I mean, charms in shops are one of the famously most forgotten things. Oh no! Oh, that's a bad place for Claw to be if you're Mike.
Yeah, I don't know if Mike is getting up to 200 essence this game. We might finally see the journal above Mantis Village.
Bapanada.
Opting to buy Sharp Shadow for the 6th charm notch, and then Wayward Compass for the 1-notch charm. Love to see it.
That'll be Mike's 6th goal, but unfortunately, at this point, with Claw, Gundam can do a lot of stuff and get pretty far ahead here. Journal above Mantis Village, sit down in Hidden Station, though, you know, Mike could be going for that right now. As well as Pale Lurker. I guess not too much else. Oh, talk to Militia.
Is that another dash in the fountain, it looked like, maybe?
Oh, I thought that was a King's Idol.
Couldn't quite tell over the text. I thought I saw K at the end. And there's a dive as well for Gundam.
The snowball just keeps rolling.
Yeah, so Mike really wants Base and Simple Claw at this point.
Yeah, or Hidden Station Claw with the Hidden Station skip. Looks like he's not doing it.
Alright, so this is going to be the Crossroads Vessel check. Last game we talked about how Mike had a very good read on where Gundam's vertical was after a while, because he kept trying to get into waterways to set himself up to get that claw. Glade is a much harder place to like read your opponent on having claw there, so watching Mike's play across the next 5-10 minutes might be watching him sort of try to triangulate where Gundam picked up claw.
Yeah, it's also like it's not that hard to read actually, given the situations that the situation that we're in right now. Because the last thing, so you know Gundam marks no eyes. Then you know that Gundam got the tram pass from resting grounds at like about the same time as Mike was there, and then immediately after went to check the journal above Mantis Village. So it's not too much of a stretch to think that Gundam found something in resting grounds, maybe, possibly at Glade, possibly at Crypts, and that is in fact what happened. So you could be able to logic that out, though. That's much easier to say when you actually know what happened, like us commentators do.
That is fair. Yeah, and so we'll see what Mike's next steps are. Meanwhile, Gundam just heading for Ismas? Having a bit of a rough time.
I assume this is a militia. Looks like Mike might be looking to farm some grubs, possibly for that dive. Maybe he thinks claws and crypts, like I was saying.
Yeah, that looks like what the play is. He's got grubs on the brain.
That's 8. I don't remember exactly how much the dive was. I thought it was like 19, but it also could have been 9. I mostly thought I saw a 9 in the single digits.
Is Gundam gonna mark Militia? So thankfully, the next big like claw locked thing. Well, I guess there's sit down and hidden station first that Gundam can steal, but eventually we get to things like Pale Lurker and 2 Dreamers checks that are less fun to do.
Looks like Gundam is going to Pale Lurker first. So that at this point, does Gundam have a static path to victory here? Hidden Station, Pale Lurker, 2 Dreamers checks, and Kali 1? Yeah, it looks like he does.
That will just take him to 13. So Mike's got to find Claw stat and probably commit to doing a fairly long goal. Once you get, we've sort of sussed out over the course of this tournament that once you hit a 4-goal deficit is when Rando starts to, like, Lockout starts to get really unkind to you, because generally at that point you have to start committing to doing longer, more annoying goals just to stay in the game while your opponent can continue to leverage that goal advantage and just do more checks. And so even if you manage to come back, your opponent has generally checked much more of the map than you by the time it gets to the late game. So Mike going to, unless there's a dupe claw in Crypts, which could happen, Mike going to come up short here pretty quick from this grub farm, and then has to pretty immediately make the right call where claw is and start working on like Colo 1 or Dreamer's checks to have a chance.
Yeah. It's very much not looking good for Mike here. I was also miscounting because Talk to Militia hadn't been marked yet on the delayed bingo board when I was counting. So Gundam doesn't even have to do Colo 1.
It looks like this is going to be hidden station. So the claw snowball on this board was very, very real.
Yep.
And Mike, I think, going to find Distant Village Stag here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yep.
See how that goes. So if you were one of the people disappointed by the luck swinging in Mike's favor with that late game shop key in game 1, this is an example of the other side of that coin. Sometimes you just get the major item you need and you work that as hard as you possibly can until it's 13-6-ish.
Oh, it looks like it was 10 grubs, not 19. Okay. And it looks like Mike is heading straight for that Crypts check. So,
right, so he is on the logic train you described, just unfortunate that it's not the correct one.
Yeah. I wonder if he farms a bit of essence for Glade after this.
I mean, at that point, it's kind of, you need some very high-level soul reads on your opponent, because Gundam can do either Colo 1 or 2 Dreamer's checks to finish, and you basically have to call him which one he's going to do, and then do it first, and then get the other one first as well.
Not going to be easy when Gundam's a bit ahead on spells as well.
A dive in Crypts, you hate to see it. I'm going to waterways now.
Fluke Farm? Maybe Fluke Farm God Tuner? Mike did just pick up a third simple key.
Looking to get bailed out by God Tuner a second time. Dupe claws at Fluke Marm, I will scream. I'm warning everyone now.
Well, no one has killed Mila yet.
You hate to see it. There was some other goal routing on the board. We didn't even really need to go by peaks today.
Okay, yeah, looks like Mike is going straight to God Tuner and ignoring Fluke Marm.
I'm not sure if this play is a concession from Mike, saying like, I think I know where Claw is and I'm not going to get it, or if this is just a galaxy brain read on where Gundam might have taken a dive to find Claw.
Yeah, like, there was the dive into a simple key in Crypts, so not completely out of the question.
Alas, it is merely King's Station Stag. I hate to see it.
Yep.
So yeah, once Gundam finishes up Watcher Knights and gets Larian, this game is basically over, because just one quick distant village stag away from the end of the game. Although it looks like Mike might be eyeing nail upgrades for Kala 1.
I will be extremely impressed if Mike manages to finish Kala 1 before Gundam goes to Distant Village and checks Hera.
Hey, that, he even has Hera, so there is, like, no devout on his way to that check. I was gonna say, you can always die to that one devout, but in Gundam's case, you actually cannot. And of course, that's not discounting the possibility that, like, Long Nail is at Lurian and we end on the anticlimax, as has happened in so many races before.
Well, yeah. I don't know, it could also be at Hera and we can end with 14-6.
What better way to send a message to your opponent going into Game 3 than to get an extra goal? Yeah, Mike is going to just start Kahlo as we get to the end game here. Okay, yeah, there's not even another check on his way to have it be Long Nail. So best case scenario is just Long Nail or Mark of Pride at Hera.
Yep.
But it is just a seal, and that is going to be 13-6. A rather more stark Game 2 than Game 1 was. Wait.
I've marked the racers as done now, so they should be getting an invite to a post-race interview if they would like. Meanwhile, we can take a look at the spoiler log now.
Hello, Gundam. GG.
GG's.
So that co-location was really fortunate for me.
Yeah.
I assume Mike never found it.
Mike never did. It looked like his read was that you had already farmed for dive at grubs, and he was looking for clawing crypts. So as soon as you marked the first claw-locked, or basically claw-locked goal, he went farming grubs.
Oh.
Yeah, it was actually a really good read from Mike. Just, like, not the right... like, he correctly read that you found it in resting grounds, just not at the right place.
What's that
Oh, GG's,
for
Mike.
the behind the King's Grove by any chance, or whatever it is, King's Glade?
Claw was in fact in Glade.
Yeah, I figured it probably was, but I didn't
That was
really
a
have
very
time to
good
go.
read.
I didn't have time to go and get it really. Whilst also doing things I wanted to do at that point.
Actually, never checked the grabs, so it was somehow good for me, I guess.
Yeah, Grubs had dive.
I found dive later at above Montes Village at the journal.
The other one is in, the last one is in Crypts.
So, looking at the spoiler log, the Glade Claw was in fact the dupe, and the Vanilla Claw, or not Vanilla, the non-dupe Claw was at Shade Soul. And
Nice.
And Elegant Key was at Rancid Egg, Dark Deep Nest.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful.
So yeah, some other things that none of you found. City Crest was at Dashmaster. King's Brand was at Massive Moss Charger Chest.
Oh, Green Path was stacked against stacked
Yep.
this seed, because Lantern was at Thorns, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And we had Distant Village Stag as well in Green Path. Dang.
Yeah. I guess Long Nail Mark of Pride I should look up.
and QG stack for marble, maybe.
Longnail was at Grimchild, Mark of Pride was at Shopkey. QG Stag was at the top left Waterways egg.
Oh, that would have been useful.
Oh yeah, Mike, when you were going by that, I was wondering if you would like go check that egg and then go over to Dashmaster Bretta and do the Mantis Village journal. And if you did that, you would have gotten QG Stag and City Crest and dive from the journal if you did that. So that would have been pretty stacked.
And so the moral of this story is believe Jason when he says that shade skipping to Mantis Village Journal is like real, I guess.
Yeah, I'm very surprised no one did it for such a long time.
I wanted to see the Dream Nail skip.
Oh yeah, there is actually a shade skip to that, isn't there? Just die.
I don't like the shade skip there, I just like the Dream Nail thing. But as long as I get Dream Nail, the goals just piled up really fast. Yeah, you got Mike got Dream Nail before me, I guess.
Yeah.
Also,
Mike,
Yeah, probably not by very long, but yeah, I think I got it before you.
Yeah, you got the same Dream Nails.
Mhm.
it was just like a minute or two difference. It wasn't that long. Also, shoutouts to your Bardoon race, which was very, very close.
Yeah,
That was.
So Gundam did the acid skip, but had to warp out and like retry because he dunked a few too many times.
it was so rude.
Yeah, and meanwhile Mike had to go around because he didn't have C-Dash or even Dash Master. So it was actually really close. And I think it got decided by Mike going up to Camp Bench and getting that before going over.
Yeah, it went blue as I was talking to Bardoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst.
wow.
There were a lot of very similar little things. Like, obviously, we had no way of knowing that Claw was going to be in Glade, but just for having Tram Pass and a Simple Key in Resting Grounds, but not at Essence, the decision... Because, Mike, you were ahead on the way to Resting Grounds, and then you peeled off to Kill Zero for Essence.
Yeah.
We got to Resting Grounds at literally the same time, and
I think I was checking Essence when you marked 8 map pins, I think. Or possibly when I picked up the Symbol Key or something.
And then you won Simple Key by virtue of Gundam never having gone to Waterways.
Yep.
That was a really tight race there as well.
Also shoutouts to that quick slash snipe.
Yeah, that was also... Exactly.
Literally almost at the same time.
You know, for as randomly distributed as this board was in terms of stuff it asked for you, there was a lot of good close race content on this game.
That's to Leg Eater being bought out extremely quickly this game.
He
was really cheap.
He just did let him like the stuff. The geo from him was quite enough to buy him out, right?
Basically. I think Mike also needed Shroomels, but that was it.
Yeah, I think I did Trumbles and some Geo Rocks. But that was only because I bought City Storeroom stack as well.
You actually marked it before I checked it, so I thought that you would go. You went to storerooms and sold to Lam, and then I went to Legate and I was like, oh, why? He probably didn't really need to do that. By the way, did you do the skip to cliffs?
Yeah.
Nice. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I wasted a lot of time on that because I did it. Not to do it twice. It's been a while.
Was there anything at cliffs? Wait,
Really?
Not that I remember. That was a VS.
Never mind. I got there.
VS at Bato.
I got there later. Never mind. I forgot I
No.
found Stagna stacked somewhere.
Yeah, I think we ended up seeing all of it, other than, I guess, Grimchild, if that counts. Neither of you lit the lantern or found the kid.
Where was Grimchild, by the way?
Grimchild was at Abyss Streak, and Kingsbrand. All right, Kingsbrand was at Massive Moth Train. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so this seed just really wanted to keep you left side, the seed and board.
Indeed.
And then it gave you, what, 4 Kingdom's Edge goals? To twist the knife a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, this does mean we will be getting a Game 3. Schedule TBA, but we're not quite done yet, so best of luck to both of you in Game 3. Excited to see who advances to Grand Finals.
Yep.
Thanks also to Jason for commentating with me, and to all of chat for sticking around.
Thanks to Racers, thanks to Quack. Be sure to tune in next time for our third game between Gundham and Mike. And also, I believe there is another losers finals match that has yet to be scheduled at all between Jet and
Locus, yeah, in the
Yeah.
upper bracket.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Have a good day.
GG's.